Hello, I'm streaming to you live. I'm Gordon with Unlock Your Bioenergy. Today is Monday, January 5th, 2026. And today's subject, I want to talk about, did you drink over the holidays? And how does it relate to pregnancy? I'm bringing this up because I like to observe things online, and I came across a post which I thought deserves your attention. It's this one right here. This mama bear here. She says, after years of infertility, I finally have my miracle baby because I gave my body the building blocks it needed to get pregnant. She writes, beef ovaries, hormones for ovulation. She ate beef ovaries. Beef uterus, pregnancy nutrients. Eat beef liver, healthy egg nutrients. Eating beef hearts, reproductive blood flow. And eating beef kidney removes toxins. And I thought, oh, this is a good one. Because I made a comment and I said, there's a problem with this. Too many people, too many women, in my opinion, don't know enough about nutrition. And when they write stuff like this, does it create confusion? Because when I look at what removes toxins in the body, it ain't beef kidney. It's called glutathione. And glutathione on itself requires 3 amino acids. Glutamatic acid, L-cysteine, and the third one is, oh gosh, now my mind has forgotten because it's a specific one, and I'll share it. And when those 3 amino acids are present in the body, what happens is that there's glutathione that gets produced from it. And if you do not have a consistent level of those amino acids in your body, guess what happens? Glutathione doesn't get created. And glutathione is known as the master antioxidant inside the body. And what does that do? Well, it's going to help remove all kinds of things. Helps with skin production, with removing metals out of the body, helping with bile production. The list of things goes on and on. And to further explain this, I'm going to bring this. Let's see if we can see this. Oh yeah, look, you can kind of see it. Of course, now it's going to be difficult for me. Okay, there we go. So, see my cheat sheet here. Yeah. Why is protein so important? Well, it's not necessarily protein itself, it's the combination of things. And I say this is because when you have, here, I'm going to switch the screen here so I can make this a little bit bigger. This might be better. Ah, yes, it is. So, you have what's called a PDCAA. Okay, hopefully you can see that. And basically, it's kind of like a scale. You have 0 all the way up to 1. Okay? And basically, when you have a full spectrum of amino acids, then you've reached this level up here of 1.0, it's called. Okay? See if you could make this bigger. I don't know if you can see that. Here, I'll just adjust this like that. Okay? When you eat beef, beef is known to be around 50% of a complete protein. And when I see women doing this, saying, oh, I'm eating beef kidneys and beef liver, well, beef liver in itself is high in copper. Very, very good source of copper. And copper itself is, for most people, they're deficient in it. And what does that help with? Well, it's called the copper GHK peptide, which assists with stem cell development and so forth. But that's a topic for another day. But what I'm getting at is if you want glutathione, you might need the 3 amino acids that are here, that are missing, that are not in beef. And because of that, you could say, oh, I eat all this beef, but where is the amino acids? Well, it could be in asparagus, which is known to be one of the strongest sources of one of the amino acids that's required for glutathione production. However, if you eat eggs itself, a whole egg with the yolk, then you have basically a full, complete amino acid profile. How many women eat eggs? I don't know. If you eat breakfast all the time, a lot of bodybuilders eat eggs. Why? Because they want that complete amino acid profile right here. Because those are the building blocks necessarily for, or that are necessary for muscle synthesis. And do bodybuilders, doesn't matter if you're male or female, do you benefit from a complete amino acid profile? Yes. Will you benefit from glutathione production? Yes. But, and I say but, because in order for glutathione to be produced in the body, it's kind of similar to a campfire. In order for a campfire to burn, what do you need? A campfire needs fuel, and it needs a spark. And when you have the two of them, then it burns. Fire. Right? Now, for glutathione, you know what the fuel is the 3 amino acids. But what is the spark? What is the spark? Do you know what it is? Well, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what I think it is. And most people will say, he's talking gibberish. I don't think so. Because if I change the subject from fire to plants, plants need fuel and they need a spark. What is the spark for plants? Well, that spark is called light. Now, do the same rules apply to the human body? Do they apply to the human body? And the answer is yes. Now, with light, if you're getting that complete amino acid profile and enough light every single day, then you are in a position where you're going to win. However, there's still another piece that I call that's foundational, that's necessary for the fuel and the spark to, what would I say, mold together inside the body. And one way you can get the spark is by way of making sure you're getting in the sunlight, or you can use what I call the X39, or not this one, the YH Renew. And this is another patch that actually triggers the body to increase glutathione production inside the body. And you wear it like the X39, which you see me wearing here. And what that does is you could wear it when you go to bed and put it on your ankles, underneath your belly button, and your body's going to take that signal and take those 3 amino acids that are in your body and turn it into fire, into something that's really positive. And what is that? It's called the master antioxidant. And if you want to detox your body, consider this. Simple. Because if you're like me, I live in Alberta in Canada. And the last 3 days, the sunshine was nowhere to be found, because it was, especially during the day, the amount of fog that we've had, you're not getting the full spectrum of light. So I could sit in the light, but am I getting it? Mm-mm. Why do you think the sky's got clouds in them? Those white lines that go across, you know? I'm not speculating, but I'm saying it's kind of easy to notice. And can you do something about that to offset that? And the answer is yes. This guy right here. If you want to increase glutathione. Now, if you want to increase production of the GHK copper peptide, which is the king of kings when it comes to healing the body, it covers kind of like the whole spectrum. You know, if I want to call it the spectrum, the umbrella, that affects thousands, several thousands of DNA genes inside the body. And can you reap the benefits from just this? I think so. But if you want to have increased glutathione production, then you consider this. But these are tools that you can have in your toolbox. So now, if you live near the Gulf of America, I will call it the Gulf of America, as it has been renamed, or closer to the equator, most people in that part of the world, they live generally good lives, and a lot of it has to do with sunlight, because they're getting it and they're activating the processes inside the body because the body needs it. Don't put sunscreen on your face and on your shoulders. Don't put it on. No. Then you're just blocking the opportunity to actually get benefits from the light. Imagine if you put sunblock on plants, how would they grow? They probably wouldn't. They'd be dead everywhere, right? I'm just saying, it's not hard to figure it out. So make smart choices when it comes to the spark. We all know about the fuel, But a lot of us, we don't know about the spark. And tomorrow I'm going to actually expand on the spark, because there are things that are known in around the world that have been known for a long time, but now they're starting to bubble. How would you say, bubble to the surface? And it's very interesting how all this is coming about. I just I like, isn't that interesting? I know about it already now for several years, and now it's becoming more mainstream, if you want to call it, in the world of holistic health, alternative health. For me, I like calling it unlocking your bioenergy, because without it, you won't have electricity in your body. You don't have, like, when it comes to electricity, or what I call bioenergy, what is the number one fuel source for the electricity inside your body? Well, let me show you. It's called water. But the type of water that you drink is equally as important. Now, I'm not running this machine right at this moment, but I make what's called deuterium-free 114 degree molecular bond angle water. And I started drinking this water back in 2021. Now, there is not very much anybody can tell me to convince me otherwise that drinking this water is not good for me. Because there are things that I have experienced that there's nothing you can say to convince me otherwise. Not a thing. Not a thing. And the reason being is because I'm a stickler for details. And I've been recording things for a long time. And when I have seen the changes that are kind of really abnormal, I think to myself, how is this possible? What changed? And then I realized, had a lot to do with drinking the water as a fuel source. Because in order for minerals and everything else and the amino acids to be formulated in your body to create glutathione, you need to have a carrier. And what is that carrier? What I call the cleanest and most absorbable. It's really simple, because if you look at your glass of water and you pour it out of your tap, like I do here, I got tap water. When I measure that water with a parts per million meter, which is this is really simple. Okay, it's measuring the conductivity, and the particles that are in the water can really influence the absorption of the hydrogen that's necessary for bonding and creating everything inside your body. And hydrogen itself can be locked. A lot of people don't know about this at the atomic level. And it's called deuterium in a way. You can DEUTERIUM and have a look at that word and what it really means. Because when you have water that is not locked at the atomic level by charge, what happens when it goes into the body? The atoms, they separate very easily. So the result is that the hydrogen that you should be absorbing doesn't get absorbed because it's locked. And can it affect you long term? Yes, it can. And when you are chronically dehydrated, a lot of people, they start to suffer all kinds of different things. And one of those conditions is called spinal discompression. When you get older, the cartilage in between the vertebrae starts to kind of like evaporate, if you want to call it that. And then the discs start to rub, that cartilage shrinks. And then people complain, oh, my back hurts, And the doctor will say, drink more water. My question is, what kind of water? What is the fix? Well, I'll tell you. The man who created deuterium-free 114-degree molecular bond angle water, this guy is born in 1930 and still walking around today as if he's much younger, 60 years old. Why is that? Well, it has a lot to do with because he's been drinking the water for the last 50 years. So, is he heavily shadow banned? Uh-huh. Why? Well, because he knows too much. He wants to help you just as much as I'm trying to help you. I know I'm a crazy kook when it comes to exercise, but that's my way of kind of proving it to you that what I say is actually legit. So when I'm talking about these things, I really mean it. And hopefully you learned a few things today. And so for today's workout, I'm going to do the 9-minute warm-up as you see on the screen. And that will be followed with where's my heart rate monitor? I moved it. Oh, there it is. Go ahead. 9-minute warm-up followed with back and biceps. So the first exercise is going to be pull-up followed by a chin-up. So basically this is going to involve more of the bicep. This is the lats. And then we're going to do a row. And then I'm going to do, I'm going to hammer curl. And then straight bar. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, okay, you can. All right. So those are the exercises that will be chosen for today, and I will be reintroducing the vibration plate because last week I just did cards, and I was, and I noticed that okay, I'm gonna rotate back and forth and then use some different techniques. I also have metronome, which I like to use for tempo. Tempo is very important when it comes to time under tension. And so for the 9-minute workout, it's going to be there we go. Hopefully it works right off the bat. There you go. So you can hear the tempo. All right. And then after the 9 minutes are up, then I'm going to switch to just a 60-second beats per second. So that way, basically, I can count the seconds, 2, 3, 4. And doing it that way helps me keep tempo, but also the time under tension. And I'll explain what kind of reps I'm going to do. So follow along, get in to participate in this workout. And I share my knowledge and experience for free, and my only ask is that you support me by making a purchase of either the X39 or glutathione or even IceWave or any of the phototherapy patches, because they, in my opinion, are superb. You are not going to miss out on what you get from them. So, with that, you can scan the code as you see there, this way. That QR code will take you to unlockyourbioenergy.godaddysites.com, and you can read about some of the things that I've shared over time. But if you're interested in making a purchase of the X39 to experience its full benefits, oh yes, Elon keeps messaging. Scan this QR code right that you see right there, and that will take you to lifewave.com/Gordon Tomazik. That's my first and last name. So I am a registered brand partner with LifeWave, and I would appreciate your support if you like what I'm doing, sharing my knowledge to help you, if you're looking for help, to really, live well, live long, but also live young. And that's what I'm trying to achieve. And by demonstrating to you 6 days a week what's possible to feel that way. And the reason why I do 6 days a week is because I like exercise. I like being fit. And I'm sure many others out there want to achieve that as well. And if that's your goal, then I'll help you. If you need motivation, write your comments below. Don't be afraid. And let's do this together. So, without further ado, let's get on with the 9-minute workout. I'm going to move this whiteboard. All right, there we go. So, tempo, and let's begin. So, I'm gonna start with the heart rate monitor. Got to turn that on. There we go. And last but not least, the timer. 9-minute jump rope. Let's begin. There we go. I see what I forgot here. That's a little bit better, I'm sure. I'll get it right eventually. So. I'm just gonna fix this here. Move this back a little bit. A little wider. Probably a little bit better. There we go. Alright. So for the last 2.5 minutes, that's when I'm going to do a real burst. Which will consist, I think, more so of double unders. Pretty fast pace, 165. Normally I'm down to around this pace, which I think is around 135-ish. Alright, just gonna recover a little bit here for 30 seconds and then up the ante by doing straight double unders and just see where it leads. So alternating back, 8 double unders, 8 regular bones. Here we go. 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. Ah. All right. I saw my heart rate over 200 there. So, if anybody tells you that a heart rate over 200 is believable, I just showed you that. And what it takes to get it there. I don't know what the maximum was. I did see 212. So, could it have been higher than that? Possibly. Alright, so. Obviously you can tell, still able to talk with a heart rate as high as it was, but it dropped down very fast. Why is that? Well, it has everything to do with blood quality and what was in this cup that drives and supports blood circulation. And look, I should get one of those SpO2 sensors to show you. I might do that. Alright, so for today's workout, I'm going to start with, I said pull-ups. So, oh, lovely. My batteries are falling out. So I'm going to use the vibration plate again today. This tape just tore. What's odd with that? That's very strange. Surprised that the tape just snapped the way it did. Alright, so plugged in? No, it's not plugged in. Alright, vibration plate is plugged in. So you can see here on the ceiling there's one band, and the other one is over here. So double orange. So that is 120 pounds worth of resistance. So I can almost pull my body off the ground, or I can hold it, but my body will sink. So the bands can support my weight almost. Not entirely, but it's close. So with that, I'm going to camp up there, I think. So what I'm going to do is actually, I've got a towel here, which I'm just going to place on the vibration plate itself, just to make it a little more comfortable. And this is going to be a 3-minute alternating session. So what I'm going to do is have my hands in open palm like this, and have the wrist pull. So I want to focus more attention on the lats itself by doing it that, instead of grabbing it like this, putting it inside the ankle. The ankle strap. That's what I'm using. Ankle straps. Now here with the vibration and just pulling down, I can almost lift myself off. You could actually sit down on the vibration plate like this. See, it's pulling me just up, just a little bit off the ground. So you can change the intensity by just doing one arm at a time, adding the vibration. It can have a subtle tug. That's a full stretch. You can hear the vibration, how it's affecting. Okay. I just realized I'm going to switch to the actual heart rate monitor so I can see it. Progress. So because this is here, I'm wanting to focus on sticking points, or they're called sticking points, where you might not be able to pull at the beginning, so you pull the shoulders down, and that engages the scapula, and then tug the rest down with the lat. Down. Whoa. Obviously, I can tell this weight here is, I can't pull it all the way down. Oh. I'm just barely lifting off the plate, off the vibration plate. So holding it here. So for next week, I know what I'm going to do. I have some lighter bands. So, because I want to build up the strength to get to the a regular pull-up. I can do, 4 or 5 solid right now. And and that's when I'm fresh. I do a full pull-up. So I'm kind of not there yet as far as my true strength, but it's coming. All right, next I'm going to switch now to a chin-up. So using the same concept as the lats, so instead of having the elbows wide, they're going to be closer in this way. And vibration plates, 3-minute session. Let's begin. Oh, I forgot the metronome. Just realized. Setting it at 60. Oh gosh, wasting time. So here, wow. Oh, I can definitely feel the lats. The stretch. Feels good. It's a good stretch. Kind of seesawing them down. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. This is really uncomfortable. Holy goodness. Wow. Oh my. All right, next up is I'm going to switch to a row. And this time I'm going to use, take these ankle straps off. I've got lands here. I'm going to switch to, these ones are blue ones. I'm going to go heavier. I think what I'm going to do is, these are purple, so this is almost as close to the same weight as the orange, but I want to make sure I'll be able to extend the elbow past the torso, so when I'm rowing this way, pulling in this way, and the elbow, I want to make sure that it goes past the torso. That way it ensures that the lats are doing the work. Alright, there's that one. And what I'm going to do back. Somewhere here. All right. Now, same idea with the. All right. A little more. Not much. So I have a stretch at the very end of the rep. Okay. Now take the weight that I have here on the floor, just move it like, put it like a step, and here I go. So I can do one at a time, full extension. There we go. Nice bounce. So here we are. Full, now seesawing them. So I'm holding it kind of halfway to keep the tension on the lat while I extend the other side, seesawing them. You could, if you change the angle of the elbows, if they're more in line with your shoulders, then that's going to be a rear delt exercise like this. But I don't want the rear delts, I want the lats. Kind of pinch the shoulder blades together. All right, feels good. Next up is hammer curl. So I'm going to switch to putting the vibration plate back on the floor. I'm going to move the bench out of the way here. Along with the weight, I just kind of slid it on the floor. I shouldn't do that, but I'm going to wear out the now I'm going to change. I just realized today I'm going to use red bands for the bicep curl, and the reason being is that I really want to focus on making sure I can get the peak, meaning full contraction of the bicep, and that's at this angle I want the to be able to hold it at and actually reach that position. To do so, it is a little bit challenging, especially the way I'm going to do it. This exercise, so focusing on it's going to be the long head. So with the vibration plate, just going to make sure I have. Oh, it's too much. Too far away. Like somewhere here. Something like that. Yes, that's. So I've got tension at the band, or at the start, when the arms are at full extension. So this is kind of like a preacher curl style. I'm using the towel on my knees so that way they don't slip. And by sitting on the, like I said, hammer curl first. So here I want to, taking the wrist out of it, so basically this is doing the hammer curl version of the preacher is going to focus on the long head of the bicep. So having the vibration is part of the motion. You get a full activation, and of course the bands that are bouncing on the. So you can tell, you can hear the change in the intensity of the vibration. So it affects how the bands that are still attached to the wall, and take them off. That's what's making the noise. Feel the long head starting to hurt lots. Right through it. All right. Wow. All right. I'm gonna actually this driving me nuts. There we go. Now switching to straight bar. So I'm gonna set up this towel again on my knees so that way my elbows don't slip. And slide on my knees because they do get sweaty. So switching to a straight bar now. So this is going to be working more of the short head. So by holding it this way, as you can see probably in the video or on the screen, where I'm not using my wrist as part of the movement, isolating very much so the short head. Holding it here, using the vibration to activate the muscle when it's under tension. Wow. I can feel the short head of the bicep. Wow. Okay. Now I'm just gonna try to keep ripping it out. Feels very good. So if anybody says you don't get a pump from doing what I just did, my right one is, I've got a bigger peak of the long head because I'm right-handed, so I have a little bit of an imbalance. So that's why left looks different than the right. But let's have a look at the heart rate debrief. Oh gosh, okay. I have to make this quick. So 212 is what I hit for a maximum heart rate today. And I was in that zone for 37 seconds. So between 207 to 218 for 37 seconds. And here's you can see how I was up there and then I stayed when I got there. So that's me, Gordon, 49 years old, and hitting big time heart rate numbers. So, and as you saw, I didn't fall down on lying flatline on the concrete. I'm still here again. So we'll see you tomorrow for Tacky Tuesday, and it'll be good. Bye for now.